It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Kevin Harlan here with Greg Anthony and a pair of Hall of Famers with us, Doris Burke and David Aldridge. We'll see the Houston Rockets taking on the Los Angeles Lakers.
Here we go.
So the Rockets win the tip. And the Houston Rockets starting five. Paul out there with Paul. Then it's Chris Paul. Then it's Chris Paul. And it's Paul in at the five, roaming the paint. Now here's Paul. Ball's knocked loose. It's stolen by Rondo. Outside for Rondo. Back to Rondo. There's the pass to Rondo. Shot clock at 5. Over Paul. Rondo's shot is good.
If he's one thing, he's efficient in the paint. Rondo really good with the positioning there close to the basket.
Paul dishes to Paul. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in.
You know, I like that he didn't go for the straightforward layup. He gave us a little something extra right there.
Tipped away and taken away by Paul. Down low. And Rondo sends it back.
Oh, you forget sometimes how much of an impact Rondo can have defensively there, showing off some superb vertical as he goes up for the block.
And now another look at that mobile one-block defensive performance.
And making a statement right away, letting them know they won't get any easy ones when he's around.
And it's a completely new group for Los Angeles. Rondo against Paul. Now here's Rondo. Tight defense on him. The rejection by Paul. And they get it back. 4 on the shot clock. Rondo, good.
I tell you what, Rondo will get physical down low in that post. He is not going to back down from anybody.
Here's Paul. And Rondo sends it back. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Rondo. .15 seconds left in the first quarter of the game.
And it didn't fall, but that's the kind of shot they want their offense to create.
You know, it can be frustrating when you make the right play and fail to reap the rewards. You just have to stay with it here.
At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. Lakers lead by 2. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment. Some good action already in this one, but a fairly even matchup after the first quarter of play. And taking a look at the Lakers' performance here, what have they been doing or not doing in the game?
You got to credit their defense, communicating, rotating, making plays on the ball.
Yeah, I think they wanted to come out of the gate strong, and they have. They've taken the early lead here.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. So for the Lakers right now, they've got Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo is out there with Rajon Rondo. And it's Rajon Rondo. And it's Rondo in at the small forward.
Yeah, you got to respect the awareness level of Rondo. When his teammates have a clean look at the basket, the ball gets there without hesitation.
Now here's Paul. It's stolen by Rondo. They push it up 4 on 3. And blocked. That one goes careening off the glass. Paul passes to Paul. Paul kicks to Paul. Fires for 3. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game.
Well, Chris Paul is such a hard guard. You've got to contest the three because of his ability to drive. Like, what do you do if you're a defender? You are in a problematic situation.
Now here's Rondo. Rondo with the ball. The rejection by Paul. It's his first trip to the line.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And that one falls for Rondo.
And when engaged, Rondo is special. A triple-double threat who does a little bit of everything for his squad.
Here's what the Lakers are going with right now. Rajon Rondo is checked in for Rondo. Rondo comes in for Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo's checked in for Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo subbed in for Rajon Rondo. And Rondo drops them both. Rockets trail by 4. Paul passes to Paul. We're about a minute and a half into the second quarter now. Back to Paul. Paul outside. 6 on the shot clock. Houston moving the ball around. And Chris Paul the bucket on the assist by Paul.
Well, you think because of his frame it would be easy to knock Chris Paul off balance, but this guy has concentration and tenacity. Really good job keeping his focus. Well, that's a nice play. You've got to read the situation and go to your floater game when necessary.
Poke loose. And pushing it up. Here's Los Angeles. Again, the Lakers.
And he's just gotten so much better at being able to pull up in traffic there off the dribble. Rondo can make the D pay if you fall asleep.
And so it's the Los Angeles.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
A competitive matchup for the Lakers in the first quarter. They led by 2 after the first. Looking at the Lakers.
And as we get into this third quarter, as we've seen so far, neither team able to create much separation on the scoreboard yet. Rajon Rondo with a strong contribution so far in this one.
And even with the defense shading towards him on every trip down, he still finds a way to come up big.
Well, he knows they're coming for him, but he's accustomed to that kind of attention, and he's quite comfortable dealing with it.
Taking a look at the Rockets. Paul out there with Chris Paul. Then it's Chris Paul. Then it's Chris Paul. And it's Paul in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Rondo against Paul. Kicks it out to Paul. The 3. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Paul's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Lakers leading by 5. Outside Rondo. Rondo against Paul. Back to Rondo. Pass to Rondo. And it's Rondo in the corner. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Over Paul. Rondo can't get it to go. And so it's Paul with it, bringing it up for Houston. Paul kicks to Paul. Launches a 3. That shot, no good. So Los Angeles will take it the other way. And denied. He sends it right off the glass. Passes it to Paul. Just over a minute and a half played here in the third. Shot is good and the Los Angeles leads. Cut down now to just 2 on the basket from Paul.
Well, Chris Paul is an elite shooter. The efficiency is there, especially in the catch-and-shoot game.
Rondo makes good on the step-back jumper. Rondo's got 4 points this quarter.
I tell you, he has some impressive moves in his repertoire. That's as good as it gets, but just one of many.
The shot's good from Paul.
Now, this is a comfort zone for Chris Paul. That mid-range game, you better guard it.
Here's Rondo. He got it up. And that one released in time, but no good. It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. Los Angeles on top, leading by just 2. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. And how about a look now at our assist of the game? Brought to you by State Farm.
And the definition of teamwork right there, guys. I mean, what great communication between them, and what a beautiful feed.
Nothing better than chemistry, right? Working together to create a bucket.
And it's been a very competitive game so far as we get rolling here in quarter number 4. They've got Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo is out there with Rajon Rondo. And it's Rajon Rondo. And it's Rondo in at the 1 spot. That's who's in the game for the Lakers. The score now all even.
Well, there's a level of physicality that all coaches can appreciate. Chris Paul doing work.
Rondo against Paul. Rondo's shot is good.
And you want him taking big shots for you in big moments. That one was as easy as it gets.
Boy, when it's this close, you try not to give up these kinds of buckets. Boy, you got to do better defensively.
The shot by Paul, nobody around. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Paul's got 3 assists now in this one. Now here's Rondo. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. Rondo's got 4 this quarter.
And Rondo's handle has always been filthy. I mean, almost unguardable when he's pulling off the moves like that.
Paul, right side. Inside. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
Really, the right play defensively. If you can't block, force him to the line.
And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for Los Angeles.
When they've had a chance to attack the basket at any point in this game, they've taken advantage.
Well, they've also really been dialed in with their jump shooting. They haven't missed much of anything from mid-range today.
He drops the first one, and that narrows the gap to 1.
Now, Chris Paul has been successful at the highest level in the NBA, on and off the floor for such a long period of time. I love his intellect, his work habits, everything he represents.
Catching up on the changes for Los Angeles. Rajon Rondo's checked in for Rondo. Rondo comes in for Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo subbed in for Rajon Rondo.
You get the sense this guy relishes getting to the free throw line in these tough moments. You talk about clutch, this guy is it.
Here's Rondo. The rejection by Paul. 41 seconds left in the 4th quarter. It falls!
And you can't get a bigger bucket than that.
I'll tell you, it takes confidence to pull the trigger in that situation. You love guys who relish the moment.
Timeout called the Lakers. They're trailing by 2. There's 38 seconds left to play here in the 4th. Here's what's your take?
And usually you want to go for the 2-for-1 here to maximize the clock.
And now we present our New Balance Player of the Game, Chris Paul.
And in terms of his shooting, this has been one of the more accurate performances you'll ever see. I mean, he's been in constant motion, creating a lot of good looks for himself. But still, even when you're wide open, you expect to miss some of the time. And that has not been the case here tonight. This guy has made everything.
And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, I had a chance to find out what Los Angeles' coach was going over with his guys. This game is obviously close, could go either way, and he wanted to make sure that his guys were all on the same page and were all staying with the game plan in order to close this one out. Kevin?
Thank you, David. Timeout called the Lakers. They trail by 3. 27 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Three-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Rondo on top, defended by Paul. The feed to Rondo, and taken away by Paul. And they go to the intentional foul.
Yeah, you have to do that, though. You can't just let him dribble the game out.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
He hits the first one, and that gives them a 4-point cushion.
I am very confident that Chris Paul is a future Hall of Famer. Not only accomplished between the lines for well over a decade, both offensively and defensively, but years and years of service for the good of the game. Well, what a performer this guy is. Game is on the line. He stands up and delivers.
Started.
And this is why Rondo is so special. A proven champion who time and time again comes up big in critical stretches of the game.
Timeout called the Rockets. They're up by 2. 7 seconds left to play in the final quarter. And they're going to prolong the game here with an intentional foul.
No choice but to foul there, but he's probably the last guy you want to see on the line.
Shooting 2.
Good on the first, and that makes it a 3-point lead. And so both free throws are good, and it's a 4-point ball game. Here's Rondo. No good on the 3. So it's a narrow victory for the Rockets, pulling it out for the W. This was a hard-fought, well-earned victory for them, Greg. They really had to work for this win.
That's a good point. I mean, weaker teams might have buckled at the end with the crowd amped up, everyone in the building kind of rooting against you, but they stood tall and pulled it out.
Well said. For Doris Burke, David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long, everyone.